Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of State, Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master who drives you ever on faster. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma. In the east, it's Aerophobic fighting for the Oberkommandest, Germany, Deutschland here with the Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine fighting for the 9th Panzer Division West. In the west, we got Happycat fighting with Armour, fighting here for the 1st Armoured Division. We got infantry, machine gun and tank bulletins overall there on both sides. Assault engineers rifle start here for Happycat, focus for Aerophobic. In that sense, from American play, of course, very standard. Oberkommandest with the Luftwaffe Ground Forces, not wildly standard. I suppose there's more players experimenting with it as of late. Sturmpanzer for the fuel pond there, focus squatting northwards to try and put pressure on the Americans, from the compartment specifically. Assault engineers can, of course, help push back at the Oberkommandest with their grease guns and durability. Follows the demon reactions up close. Almost got them there. Sonya's going to close in. He's going to have to treat the Volksguard soon, or he could risk losing them if he's incautious, which would be definitely not good for him. I mean, it's clear what he's trying to do. He's trying to get a weapon of reactions, but he risks, in this situation, getting too greedy and losing the squad in the process, which would definitely not be worth it. More rifle on the way, then there he goes. See that he was incredibly close to it because, he'd been wiring off their Happycat. So that's definitely something there to keep in mind. Sometimes you got to ensure you don't let your greed blind you. And risk losing units. I certainly have lost units to that myself, just getting too focused on murdering the enemy's unit because I see a chance and then instead end up losing my own unit. Folks, that reinforcing, more arriving. Sturmpanzer playing against the Riflemen. Folks moving in there. We got a big push against Happycat. Quick rush towards the church here. Northern punch secured. That's only going to move in from there. Rather than taking a few hits, folks are charging forward. Need to be careful off the flank. More focus moving northwards, troops reinforcing, should be good to go. Sturmpanzer is doubling back instead to push towards the area there, closer to Happycat space. But that does leave the focus board here a bit exposed. Feel like Happycat here is getting... Oh, Aerophobic, I mean. Don't know why I call it Happycat. Aerophobic is getting a bit too... reckless here versus Happycat in the early game. And needs to be careful that his movements don't become too erratic or haphazard in his, pursuit for, victory. Since that's the sort of thing Happycat with his assault units can quickly punish here. Plus, in this case, if Sturmpanzers get isolated in a really bad position for all the rifle, between a lot of rifles, he's not really good for Aerophobic either. So a bit of a awkward start here for Aerophobic, to put him mildly there. Some theoretically good moves, but he's kind of cut himself a bit short on bits here and there. I mean, he hasn't lost any units yet, so of course that's good, and he's made 8 denies opponent fuel to keep fuel for himself, but still. He needs to slow down a bit there, take a breather, think things a bit more through here. Troops going to be healing here, I imagine. There you go, supplies up, reinforce, all that. Need to get his car point fast, or back swiftly. I was about to go say shriftly. We're not that kind of show, anyways. We are getting a lieutenant there for Happycat and the 1st Armoured Division. Troops healing a bit more. Right, and they got the point secured. Well, he's cut off that way, denying Aerophobic his fuel. We got to push here for the fuel. Up north, being pushed back with the reactions. In theory, could, I think, do it out. They just lay down some sandbags at the edge, but Khan decides not to. Pushing in the flank, the Rifleman, bigger push here for the north with Fulcher Sturmpanzers. More Rifleman for Happycat, but he's going to have to retreat through the Fulcher. They're getting focused down. Slightly awkward approach there. Can understand why did it, though. Wants to defend his fuel point. He's prevented the opponent from beginning grabbing that one. There we go. Big swarming assault here by Aerophobic through the centre. Going for that fuel point again. Taking a few casualties. We cut off the fuel point even further. For Happycat, of course, it's going to help Aerophobic at least slightly offset the early awkwardness there versus his opponent. We got the Schwere Wehrmacht Schleppard here for Aerophobic. And the 9th Panzer Division. Battle Group Headquarters Mechanized. All the infantry has Battle Group Headquarters makes a lot of sense. Plus, I mean, he's gone for Luftwaffe Ground Forces, which opens up for elite infantry, so in that regard, having Battle Group Headquarters back there won't make a ton of sense, but no, Aerophobic actually goes for the Mechanized regiment. That is a bit of a surprise. Not a huge one in the end. I mean, it is the Oberkommandest, and it's not like, the Mechanized regiment. This sort of like 3rd unknown option, so I mean... But, I mean, considering his force composition, I'm mildly surprised he actually went with that one. But, of course, the fast looks here could have certainly allowed him to swing the game actively against Happycat, and that might in fact be what Aerophobic is aiming for, though Arguably, a flak half-track could do the same thing. In some ways, might even be better if you use it correctly. But of course, with a mechanized strength, he also gets the Puma in case he gets hit hard back with some light vehicles or some sort like a Stuart, which could give the Luchs a bit of a hard time. We do see the lieutenant, so I mean, Stuarts are a possibility here. So in that regard, he can bring up the Puma to then provide support for the Luchs, very much creating, so I would say, a small, successful reconnaissance patrol that can, you know, quickly lock down most enemy light vehicles and infantry. But still, sometime they won't get out. The Luchs lighter Aufklärungspanzer. You know, the Germans did not have a lot of reconnaissance tanks in general. There was the Luchs, and there was a similar tank based off the Panzer 38T, or sort of was largely the same in most respects. Most never saw any sort of wild production numbers. For the most part, they still rely on armoured cars, and armoured cars converted from half-tracks for the reconnaissance purposes. My apologies there, my throat seems to be a bit annoyed. Got a bit of a cold. Still. Fallschirmjäger here could be dropped in for Aerophobic, and a Fallschirmjäger squad now could have an impact here. We got 50 caps out for Happycat versus an infantry of Oberkommand player. Of course, this is a really strong choice. I mean, generally machine guns in general are good choices if you know how to use them. Happycat going for the M20, looks on the way there for Aerophobic, heading the car point again. Aerophobic could theoretically consider a flank placement out of machine gun, would also be helpful then keeping Happycat's infantry down. Catching the 50 caliber off guard, there clearly Happycat was not expecting that particular move. Looks slightly approaching, it's going to take some time. It does have a bit of a long build time to prevent Luchs rushes, which were quite prevalent in times of yore. It was very easy to get a Luchs up really, really fast. It was very difficult to contend with. Gun hand gun out off there against Rifle. Mukabe got soldiers coming up with a flamethrower. Luchs is halfway done. And Trender's going to hit out fast here for Happycat. Still, Aerophobic is doing his best to disrupt Happycat's resources and turn to prevent him from getting, say, a Stuart. So that's going to help, you know, give Aerophobic then a nice little heads up over Happycat. I mean, overall, really has no anti-tank weapons at the moment. I mean, theoretically, it can use the M20 to lay down mines, hope his opponent drives into it, maybe get a bazooka up for the lieutenant, but I mean, he really otherwise does not have a lot of options for stopping a rampaging Luchs light tank, or reconnaissance tank to be more specific. Fallschirmjäger is being dropped in on the victory point, not apparent there. Luchs rolling ahead. Up north, we got the M20 was the Sturmpionier. Forcing a route, looks like the Luchs could be heading up to deal with that, or he might just, you know, ignore it and head towards other softer targets. Ambulance for Happycat. North, better firing around the fuel point, therefore it's being engaged with the 50 caliber. Seems like Aerophobic can't really decide when wants to send the Luchs first. Bit here, then there, and now he's sending it northwards. But he's losing map control quick despite having Luchs out. Again, that slight, you know, dithering about that did not help. Also, the lack of machine guns is making it easier for Happycat to gain back ground. And Aerophobic would benefit a lot from an MG34. Going straight for the fuel point and the 50 caliber there, routing it. Oh, he's trying to render it neutral, but there's a small chance here that Happycat could end up losing the 50 caliber, in which case if Aerophobic grabbed that would be really bad news for Happycat. But he does render the point neutral, he does avoid losing the 50 caliber there to the Germans. Fallschirmjäger makes money back there with the FT-42s. Troops here reinforcing. Back here, similar going on there for Happycat. And Freedom. There we go. M20 engaging so far. Noting, by the way, no mine's been laid down here by Happycat by the looks of it, trying to catch up the Luchs. Overlooked opportunity, possibly. Fallschirmjäger is trying to ambush here. Not quite working out, though, for Aerophobic. Looks to do with the M20, the auto cannon tearing through the M20 utility car's thin armour. It was not made for this. Looks like they're doing some nice damage there, almost taking out. We got the assault units moving up against the Fallschirmjäger forces on the Steel Pioneers, taking heavy damage. Damage is quickly piling up, and the casualties are coming in faster than the assault units. Riflemen will get over hands to tank rifle on the Luchs. Bazooka team moving in, they need to be careful for that. Luchs could risk losing, but they're going to move forward here for Aerophobic to guard his light reconnaissance tank. Cat vehicle out in the open, getting shot to bits. Oh, he's going to have to do something else to grab the M20 with and get it out of there. That got rather hairy, rather fast. And the Air Rations, that's going to be a wipe there for Happycat. And Aerophobic now is to control most of the map. It's only got the fuel advantage. 50 caliber creeping ahead, Luchs being repaired. Fun fact about the Panzer II, it was actually not really meant as a frontline tank. It was actually just meant for them to sort of get the understanding how to make tanks, produce them and use them. So sort of, as a development tank. But because of the state of the German infantry and the fact it wasn't even on full war footing at the beginning of the war, and they simply didn't have enough tanks to actually make use of Panzer IIs for frontline duty, despite them, again, not really being intended for it. We did try to rectify it in different manners, including one version with a 50mm cannon and an open top turret. I'm trying to go for the steel pioneer center, still lighting away there for Happycat. Looks like flanking the M20, punching through its thin armor there with ease. Slowly approaching Metro 2, the Stuart is also slowly approaching the front line. Back here, truck up, could be a Schwerpanzer headquarters, could be the Belgrave headquarters, I suppose. So that would certainly delay any armor, and would also then mean a bit more, less able to just quickly push out the tank advantage further. But here's going for the Belgrave headquarters versus Happycat versus the 1st Armoured Division. Soldiers are getting blasted by the Luchs and routed. Fortunately, they're being routed by the M20. We've got the 5th Car being hauled ahead. Heading for the point here, troops healing reinforcing. Belgrave headquarters almost down there for Aerophobic. And the Stuart light tank is available here for Happycat, the M5A1. Victory points wise is 462 versus 385. Certainly a notable lead there for Aerophobic. Over his American opponent. 50 caliber number 2 on the way there for Happycat. Aerophobic is yet to go for a single machine gun team. Adding medics there to the Belgrave head, which there's a bit of a fuel drop. Yes, indeed. Still running out with just the Luchs. There we go into tank rifle, getting off there. The Luchs is going to go down. Aerophobic can go for the Puma, by the way, but he's going to lose the Luchs before that unless he somehow manages to swarm with the Panther first. The Happycat loses his nerve, which likely isn't the case. His Luchs quickly went down here. Stood no chance against Happycat's to a light tank. A glorious victory for America, and right now Aerophobic is losing most of the map here. Happycat is greedily pushing forward here. Fights moves in the can up here, closing in eventually 2. Puma almost down there for Aerophobic. He's in there dying to the Fallschirmjäger's FT-42s following up. Support could see several Panzerfaust on the M20, though likely nothing to finish it off. Going to try and aim, I think, for a wipe on the Lieutenant. That's going to be helpful there for Aerophobic. Less helpful for Happycat, obviously, but Aerophobic is not doing this for Happycat's benefit, which I know will be a shocking development for some players to learn of. Fallschirmjägers there being routed. Stuart opening up their focus on the Fallschirmjägers there retreating. 2 kills so far, not bad. Fighting on the southern point here, Fultz riding the Fallsch, or the 50 caliber there. So what will Aerophobic go for next? I mean, any medium armor is going to be some time off here against his opponent. There you go. Puma going for the Stuart, shoots, misses. The 50mm cannon there, not quite hitting the Stuart's armor. There you go. Second shot goes through. That is taking some hits from the Stuart light tank as well. There you go. Another hit. Stuart misses. Can he get it? Maybe. Almost, but decides to back off here, not to push his luck any further with the Puma. Probably a sensible decision here. He's going to need to fix it up fast. Back here, troops in reinforcing. Pushing himself with the Student Pioneer. Got rifle waiting in an ambush by the fuel point. Nice work there by Happycat. Focusing towards the calf point. M20 then hanging back. And over here we got healing reinforcement for Aerophobic. More infantry to support here by the southern fuel point. Not looking good for the Student Pioneer. It's getting absolutely bled out there. Hitting the calf point again. Aerophobic is very consistent with his harassment of Happycat's fuel, but Happycat's only getting better doing the same to Aerophobic. Repair pioneers to help with repairs. Very good decision there. But really, an MD-34 I think would do Aerophobic a ton of good versus Happycat. But again, so far, no sign of the 50 calibers or the MD-34s there. Obviously, there are signs of 50 calibers, just not in Aerophobic's hands. Fighting as they're ambushing. Fighting was the M20 there you go. Fighting is flanking in, veteran 2, very good. We got Lieutenant on the flank. Pushing southwards here with the Fultz Grenadiers, but depleted. Puma is good to go there. Having repair pioneers up just means you have less stuff to manage, which can certainly in longer games really prove beneficial. There you go, blend cover to cover the treat. Very nice work there by Aerophobic. Also damages Happycat's troops a bit. So a nice little setup there. Puma's moving northwards with its 50mm cannon. Turning into the Fultz Grenadiers, Puma's going to be careful. He doesn't get hit with an anti-tank rifle, in which case Happycat could quickly knock it out. Heading for the central point here with Stuart Pioneers backing up. Heading for the southern point as well. We got 330 versus 375. Happycat has quickly been able to turn the victory point advantage towards him rather than his opponent. Back here now for further going for Aerophobic. You could also consider light infantry gun a bit of support, wouldn't be a bad choice versus Happycat. I would still recommend an MG-34 first. Now it's also Happycat's potentially to actually push hefty armor over Aerophobic, which definitely gave Aerophobic then a bit of a problem and possibly punishment bit here for his current build order. I'm turning in with assault units and the Stuart light tank. Center Fultz squad is not going to do well because this is also 50 cavalry just hammering them down to the ground. Up northwards was the riflery, not a good spot. The negative coming, they are very easy targets for Happycat's infantry and machine guns. Puma's going in here, almost got the M20 through the hedge. We got the Stuart moving up there, veteran 2, very nice work. There's shots fired. Looks like the Puma there gets away. Oh, almost got the Stuart light tank, gaining veteran 2, shot missed, and Puma misses. The soldiers moving up to him, might be able to fire here through the hedges and finish it off. And there goes Stuart, goes down. Puma finishes it. Bad news there for Happycat, great for Aerophobic. Popping smoke here, I think, to help cover the retreat of the Fultz Grenadiers. He's taking no chances there. Fights makes creeping out northwards. Happycat taking up as soon as he can, plus going for weapon rack upgrade. And we got a second fighting maker squad. That means Aerophobic's actually going to have a ton of infantry. We're talking 1 Stuart Pioneer squad, 4 Fultz Grenadiers, and 2 fighting makers. That's essentially 7 infantry squads. That's a lot of infantry. I really think you should at least consider 1 machine gun, to be honest. I mean, he does risk, I think, extending his management skills, risking losing units because of that. I really think you should consider, some machine guns. But anyways, riflery turning down here, Falchmakers on watch. Can he set off a good ambush here? Getting the 50 cover there. Pulling in. Good pop smoke with a Puma in front of it. Decides not to. Fighting getting the rifle in the south. And then you go 50 cover being riders. Almost got it with the Falchmakers and the Puma, but not quite. In the south, the rifle is sloping out to the Falchmakers. The FT-42 is laying down a withering storm of fire, which quickly saps the American riflemen of life and spirit, but mostly life. Back here, troops running back. As for Happycat, we got the Major out setting up for Armour soon enough. Aerophobic is yet to take up, though of course he does have the Puma, which can work somewhat, but long term it's gonna struggle.
Enemy forces now have 300 points remaining.
Happycat, of course, is reading Aerophobic's force composition quite well. He's bringing up a third 50 caliber machine gun. That's going to be very difficult for Aerophobic to deal with, unless Happycat does some really awkward moves with them, I suppose. Fultz was the M20 there, got a Panther fired off. 50 caliber out here for Happycat, Fultz moving northwards. And we got the Puma on the way again. Gonna go for that M20 utility car. Oh, folks are catching the 5th Cavalry in a bad spot, opening up with a assault rifle from the side of the house. The 5th Cavalry was trying its best to clear the house, but with absolutely no cover to speak of, they are, you know, gonna have to retreat.
300 points remaining.
300 points left. We got 293 versus 299.
A capture point is being overrun.
Heading for that northern fuel point again. Northern rig 2 points secured. Southern being nabbed here by the lieutenant. Tag up happening for Aerophobic. He's going to have 3 trucks here. Happycat's captain is up. I mean, he's going to have all 3 structures as well. That does delay his armor a bit. Not a huge deal though.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Could give Aerophobic maybe a chance to get back into this in terms of at least get the armor edge anyways. Better, I think, than putting it like, you know, he's getting back to the end. He's been in a pretty good situation that way. He's fuel-wise, he's quite been losing his edge and not quite feel like using his resources in a manner that could quickly push out a tank for him. But some of the fuel plant being hit by Happycat's going to deal with that one. Schnell, truck standing about there. Puma going in for the M20, almost got it, but the M20 zooms away, avoiding death by Puma. Folks coming up here, backed up by more folks. We've got a front hand gun out off. We got Meaty covering up from the flank, but I mean, he might as well, you know, be sending thoughts and wishes. Going about to do as much as the Germans. Up north, Fightman's going to have to fall back. They are in a pretty bad spot. It'll be a shame here for Aerophobic to lose a almost virtually free. Fightman makes one on the south here, pulling in. Fightman is backing up. 3 outpunch goes going up to cover the carve point and the fuel point. The turn there is getting blasted quite aggressively. We're going to tank guns out for Happycat, so he's certainly worried he's not going to want to get out tanks first. And so he's bringing up anti-tank guns to make sure that if he doesn't, at least he's not getting completely steamrolled by a Panzer IV, which is very sensible. Also bringing to bring up more firepower for his men there with the BARs, very good. Puma misses the M20, but still have a chance with a good attack round. And there you go, the M20 is done. Happycat is now without light vehicles. Aerophobic's got the advantage, he's almost got a veteranly free Puma as well, which is going to really help us with the armor, to be honest, since it gets a nice damage bonus. And while it won't do as much damage as a tank, still it's going to do closer to a tank in terms of damage, while still having good mobility and, you know, rate of fire and all that, so it can be a reasonable threat then to medium armor. Major being hammered there. Almost wiped out, and there you go, wiped out with the scrap 100 quarters. Happycat there suffering successive losses swiftly versus Aerophobic in the 9th Panzer Division. Steel Punies up north suppressed. Still on machine guns for Aerophobic. Whereas again, Happycat has 3. Puma being repaired up again, troops in reinforcing, another anti-tank out for Happycat. Could also be at this stage, he might just be wondering if he can just use 2 anti-tank and take out the spare padded quarters, which would be certainly a valid tactic.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
American anti-tank has been particularly suited for this because of their high rate of fire. And now he's going for a Scot, so he's going to rely on the anti-tank guns and then go for the Scot to sort of punish, I think, Aerophobic's infantry.
anti-tank gun. Ready for
A bolder strategy, but it could pay off. It could pay off.
is being overrun.
Shroud Pentacles, they're taking damage. Puma flanking it. I think he's actually trying to kill the crew of it with the Puma here, firing its main gun. Those shots are so far missing. 5th Cav's almost down. There we go. He actually snaps one of the gunners with the Puma. Focusing into flank here, rather than they need to be dealt with. There you go. Focusing down with the foes as well. There we go. Almost got the anti-tank gun crew, and he gets it.
Just got wiped out.
And I think he's going to just... Oh, he lost the full squad. Quite lost there for Aerophobic. Again, can't handle that much infantry more easily. And they're going to tank and destroy it, and there's corpses everywhere being ejected as the physics engine fails for a brief few seconds. Back here, Sturm Ponies repairing the scrap 100 quarters in the south here, Harassment from what they were routed. Was there support we took out? Nah. Oh wait, Veterans 1, 3 kills. Fuel point cut off again, very much consistent fuel harassment there by Aerophobic. Thumbs up to that. You can soon go for a Panther 4, which would definitely then put Happycat in a slightly more awkward spot. In particular after he lost one anti-tank, and here to the default's going to be a Puma combo. He certainly needs to be careful for that Scot there, so it's going to be easy prey for the Puma if Aerophobic ever catches it. Fast makes an ambush mode, but got the 5th Cavalry in to actually wipe it out there, in which case he would steal it and turn it against his opponent, or at least salvage it. Panther 4 for Aerophobic, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. There you go. Get Baltaladnung on the 50 over there, taking out most of the crew, and the Fightmate's going to be able to pick off the last two with the FT-42s. And an attempted retreat by Happycat, but doesn't work out. Now he just needs to grab the 50 caliber. He needs to grab the 50 caliber. It grabs the 50 caliber or it gets the hose again. I mean, come on, Aerophobic, you can do it for the fatherland. Another entertainment out there for Happycat. Apparently he just doesn't want the 50 caliber, which is a bit strange since you know it's a pretty good support weapon and would really do a lot for Aerophobic. Versus Happycat, at least going to try and salvage it with the Sturm Pioneers, but he doesn't seem particularly interested in that one either. But Panzer IV's out here for Aerophobic. The soldiers using points up here. Fightmate's got the northern point. We got Betty for almost waiting for those. That's pretty good. Panzer moving hit no Puma machine gun. Puma receiving repairs from the Mechanized regiment headquarters. And another M1 there, of course, arrives. 50 caliber Salfords. 50 caliber there can now be captured by Happycat as well. In the centre, Panzer IV, they're pushing back the rifle, adding the Puma machine gun. Very good there for Aerophobic. And there we go. Not entirely sure why Aerophobic just didn't grab that one. It certainly seems a bit strange in my optics. Captain holding up here with a BAR. Back here, troops in reinforcing for Happycat. Mechanized regiment, a bit silent for now. Fifth Cavalry head cover with the other 5th Cavalry. We got the Scot joining in against the Volksgrenadiers, bombarding and shooting at them. In the centre, Volks coming up here for the centre victory point. Folks, they could pressure the central on the northern munitions as well. And the Southwells, they're avoiding 50 caliber there. Needs to be careful, need to be very careful. It could end up with a very swift death there. Booming downwards. Folks going to flank in behind. There you go, engaging. Taking hits here from the 50 calibers. And there you go, 50 caliber machine gun there being routed. Could see another wipe, in which case we'll have to see if he actually grabs it. 50 caliber hiding about. Ooh, he's going to move straight into it. Nice over there by Happycat. And right into his little trap. Up north, Panzer IV there, routing a bit of Happycat's infantry. Could try and flank more, hit the field point a bit harder, more aggressively. Note what Happycat is doing is repositioning the 5th caliber, and his opponent now knows where's this. He's of course worried that his opponent might try and flank from another side, and it's going to sit up here. Then in this case, is Aerophobic actually predicting this move and is then taking a counter move, assuming it's going to be pointing in this direction? It's possible. Either way, 5th caliber there being routed. We got orbital soldat now for Aerophobic. No machine guns, it's not no light infantry gun, he just keeps going to more infantry, in this case more elite infantry. That's definitely a bold force composition, but not without risks. Scott there got something murdered. That was a Fightmaker squad that bit the dust. Not his most veteran one, I suppose. It's a small leaf there for Aerophobic. Still, quite a good kill there for Happycat, getting rid of a Fightmaker squad considering they are expensive. Bullsham available for Happycat. I probably wouldn't recommend this at current stage. Regulation would be better choice, or Jackson on M10. We got the Jackson away there for Happycat and the 1st Armoured. Puma heading northwards. Stream Piniel is the lieutenant. Scott with 7 kills, half 8-52. Pence forming up here to engage the lieutenant by the centre victory point. Smashes away there with high explosive shells. And the machine gun is very much threatening to finish off the survivors. M1 shoots, misses. Puma explodes. I should be aware of the Scott now, at least he should have reason to be aware it is. Of course, he doesn't know if there's anything gunning. Got the orbital ring in the scrap munitions point. He goes with the fight with the Puma. Shoots, hits. Close to virtually 3 and that damage bonus. There we go, another hit. And that should very well, I think, be the end of the Scott. There we go, out of control. And the Puma is now almost virtually full, which gives it increased range, which is certainly helpful there for Aerophobic in keeping it alive and pursuing enemy units. Jackson out there for Happycat. Panzer 1 getting ramping up at the centre victory point again. Happycat and the tank guns are desperately, fervently trying to hit that Panzer 4, but they're just not quite hitting it. Fights makes ambush in the south. Captain's going to move in. Pushing for the car front again. Aerophobic never misses a beat there. And finally in the centre of the assault engineers. Captain moving in there. Sure, the area is clear of crowds despite numerous ambushes having been reported in the area. Also got the Panzer 4 joining in. And there we go. Ambush ahoy. Bob, Joe and Billy Bob alongside the captain quickly drop, and that's going to be almost a full back there. Nice extra ambush there by Aerophobic. Good use of the camouflage ability there to just set up those good attacks. 20 kills there, Vetchney 4 and soon Vetchney 5, which really just pushes them towards being some of the best infantry. They're also the most expensive, some of the most expensive infantry, but they're really good at Vetchney 5. So, yeah. Puma there on watch. Will he go for another Panther 4 now? Will he go for artillery? Will he go for Panthers? There's some of the options here for Aerophobic versus Happycat. Noting their victory points while still close with the small lead to Happycat still. Puma's winging a deal with the Jackson. Interesting move there. I mean, if he gets off an aimed shot, he might be able to. Oh, smokes and then shoots at it. Got it down to half health already. Pretty good stuff there. Vetchney 4. But pretty impressive they could finish it off. And misses there by hair's breadth. Really sort of shows the efficiency of the highly veteran Puma and what he can do to the opponent. 200 points left here for Aerophobic, and the 9th Panzer Division forcing up towards the centre victory point. Panther 4 Puma need repairs. Now we got the Sturm pilots. We got a Stukas. I mean, there's a lot of support weapons for Happycat, and that we got the Stukas can work if Aerophobic can aim it, but otherwise a pair of lightning guns could do the trick, and then maybe, I don't know, a King Tiger instead with all that fuel. Fights to make it still an ambush. Note he's shifted the position a bit there. Very close to that ace level. Panther 4 good to go. Puma being repaired. That is good to go in a second. North we got the Upside. There's a couple of routing it easily. Rifling up here, but the Upside and heavy cover should be a bit of a threat there for Happycat to deal with on their own. And there you go, 14 time for the south now being joined in by the Upside. Rifling the next cover by way are easy targets here for the Germans. Panther 4 on the centre being halted by the wall of anti-tank guns. Would be a pretty good, I think, Stuka strike sort of along this axis. Or Stuka's a first strike. Rather trying to flank in his surround the upside, not a bad move. Puma's moving up here. Could allow to shoot in infantry, but seemingly isn't. Need to go for those orbitals, and there's a good chance of getting a what? Yeah, he's going to lose them. He's too slow there. Oh, light machine gun drop. That's really bad. That's really bad. Unless you're Happycat, in which case it's really amazing. Main gun out, and the Puma Panther Force going for the kill. And the Jackson, need to be careful. Damn its engine. Misses the Jackson as well. Force doing with the campers about the rifle squad. Looking pretty bad here for Aerophobic's Panther 4. That was not good. That was not good. It still isn't good. Particularly again losing that orbital squad. Oh, he doesn't pick up the light machine gun. Wow. I mean, that would have been the first thing I've been beelining for there. Just grabbing that. Panther 4 dodging a few shots, but the situation's still looking pretty bad. Stuka Truce is up here. Could try and fire, to stop the Americans a bit there, but right now the other main issue is there's some infantry that sort of screen the Panther 4. Jackson's going for it. And there we go. Panther 4 goes down just as it hits Vetchney 2. Definitely lost there for Aerophobic, who's now down just the Puma. Certainly makes his timing out Stukas a bit more quick. He's firing. Oh, there's so many machine guns bunched out. Oh! One got wiped. The other survived. Not a bad barrage, but I suppose it could have been a bit better there for Aerophobic. And a bit worse for Happycat. But really, who bunches up all the machine guns in one spot like that, one in the nearby house? It's almost like he wants them to be getting eliminated. 197 is on the 80. Puma is waiting for orders. More orbital on there for Aerophobic. Not bad. He hasn't grabbed it. He needs the Fallschirmjägers up there. The Sturmpioneers is another orbital squad to nab that light machine gun. Since the Falcons with upgrades, but he cannot pick up any weapons. So far no one is nabbing it. What are you doing, Aerophobic? Don't tell me you're picking up weapons, Phobic. Another light machine gun. I mean, double orbital with an MD-34 course would be bananas. Oh dear, might be actually... No. Are we going to see that? Oh dear, we might just... Fudge been dealing with a lot of rifle sound. They're a bit outnumbered here, even if actually 5. There you go, Blenko. Probably try and, bait them in and then retreat. Fudge dealing with the cannon. They're securing the site of the sacred LMG-34. We must hold this line. I hear this machine gun was blessed by the Führer himself. My God, yeah. These Obersoldaten are the Führer's chosen, his very angels of death. They must be allowed to reach this sacred weapon and unleash holy wrath upon the enemies of the fatherland. And there you go, Obersoldaten with double LMG-34s. The stuff of American nightmares. Moving about, they're very close to the ace level. He could go for a Panther, he could go for the King Tiger. Smokey is going to try and go for it, but risky. There we go. Hit on the Jackson against the ace level. The Obersoldaten are grabbing the munitions point there. Rather in the centre victory point, 5th Cavalry standing about here, troops heading northwards.
Our supply line just got cut off. Crew, stand ready.
5 kills, closing the veterans 1, then the Stukas are first.
Vehicle ready.
Fultz continuing on watch. The Obersoldaten there, waiting for anything to come into the line of fire and just murder it mercilessly with machine guns. Got the 5th Cav count at the southern point. 189 versus 156. Stukas of his fires. Unleashing hell in the hopes of, well, murdering something. And the rockets get a single kill there. So there you go. Obersoldaten versus Rifleman. Double MG-34 versus Rifleman. Veteran field with bars. Oh, they're running in. Exposed into the Obersoldaten. There you go. Quickly route it. Of Norfolk, I think it's sort of the lieutenant could do with the Obersoldaten to back up. 5th Cavalry moving in there. Obersoldaten remaining on watch. In the south, Sturmpioneers in the 5th Cavalry on some sort of watch position as well. Fulls about to get overwhelmed. The Obersoldaten are nowhere near to be seen. They are just, oh, there we go, moving about finally. Fallschirmjägers, the aces are rushing the center. There we go, Geballte Ladung. And gets a wipe. No survivors. Very nice throw there by Aerophobic. Obersoldaten that's going to engage the 5th Cavalry head on. Oh, he can't set up in time. It's going to get murdered, I think. Oh, they get suppressed before they can get off the finishing blow. He's going to try and crawl up to pop the 5th Cavalry. Oh, he goes right. He goes for it. Pinned down. 5th Cavalry there dealing with the Fultz. He's going to need more infantry to deal with that. We got another Scot on the way there for Happycat. Got the centre victory point there with the Fallschirmjägers. And there you go, 50 caliber crew overwhelmed by the sheer numbers that Aerophobic delivers against it. And he's setting up for the King Tiger. He's got the manpower, he now just needs the fuel. He is not far off there. He is not far off. That's going to be a bit of a nightmare there for a Happycat, I think. Blend cover there to allow a safe retreat. So very close here to the... oh, Jackson engaging there. Puma down to half health. That quickly went a bit ugly there for Aerophobic. He's super close to that King Tiger there. Almost losing the Puma here. Stukas was in a bad spot. Need to get out of there. Need to get out of there. Oh, that was lucky there for Aerophobic. But Kednev on the way there. Big 2 points loss, 175 versus 146. He is very close to that King Tiger. At this stage, could use a pan for that and maybe help things in the situation. I definitely has to go for that King Tiger. It'd be a bit silly to then go for something else. But Kednev almost done there for Aerophobic. Stukas of his fires. Will it hit something? Will it murder something? We got a house and some guy named Lewis. Forces up in the north, need to retreat. They're going to heavy bombardment in the south. Forces are being assaulted, being close to wiped out by all of Happycat's infantry. The orbital guard are good to go. The Mega Aces are in north there to back up the Puma. Kednev out. He's got the fuel. Now he just needs the manpower for the King Tiger. He is about to hit it. There we go. He's got the resources. He should have the Popcat as well. And then he goes for Panther. I guess he had, change of heart, but it still seems a bit silly. Got the Aces and the Sturm Punch ready to fall about. Again, you can hear the 50 cal could take it out, in which case you grab it and turn it against Happycat. Well, these salvage. So far, though, it seems like Aerophobic is once more ignoring it. As if though by religious decree he is forbidden from touching anything American. Thou shalt not besmirch thine pure German hands with filthy American mechanics. Is apparently the commandment Aerophobic is living up to. Panther out there. I'm still surprised he kind of went for it in the end, but fair enough. It's not like the Panther's a bad choice, but he could have done that out much sooner than he actually did, and that's the confusing part, at least for me. Triple Scots there for Happycat. By the looks, at least that's what he's planning. That's a lot of Scots. That's a lot of anti-infantry. Canada getting murdered. Not really good over there for Aerophobic, truth be told.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And he didn't bother at all with that 50 cal, meaning Happycat's going to be able to easily recruit again. The orbs were done on fire from the Scots. Need to get out of there fast because that's triple Scots. That is pretty lethal for an infantry caught out in the open. Units being wiped out here and there by the sound of it. Got the southern victory point again. Okay, another crew dead once more. At 50 cal, he lacks some artillery, something else to deal with it. In this regard, Aerophobic's force composition is, a bit narrowing. It has no machine guns. It has no real artillery except for the Stukas of Fusing, and that one has massive cooldown. So it's not wild responsive to his needs. Like, you can occasionally do a lot of damage potentially, but it's not very responsive. I mean, there's long periods of time where it just has nothing and might as well not have any artillery. Comparatively, Happycat's artillery is very responsive. It's always firing, and of course can also barrage on top of it. And there you go. Looks like Aerophobic's had enough of these moving in. Not even the Stuka smoke consoles, which could have laid down the smoke first. Let's go. They're straight to the tanks of the Jacksons, and no infantry back up. That's the anti-tank guns. Panther down. That was. I think Aerophobic just kind of had enough here. Got tilted. Puma down, and that, I think, kind of feels like there you go, GG, game over. Aerophobic, again, suffered from an awkward force composition, lots of infantry, which can be good, but there's an absolute lack of, fifth machine guns or artillery that way, leading to not very solid combined arms tactics, and he never grabbed his opponent's fifth cal for some reason, so there were some issues there. Plus, while he did some good maneuvers here, there were some other maneuvers that were less good that kind of undercut him, so it was so. But, nicely played there by him and Happycat, some nice plays here and there, so also highlighting, fighter megas can be really good. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. But don't tell your enemies, but tell your family. Unless you have family is your enemy, in which case, tell no one. But this is Imperial Team. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope you'll tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.